all the way from the Netherlands. Could you introduce your company a little bit and give an overview of your application?
Well, my name is Martin Kool. I live in the Netherlands and I work for Q42. Q42 is a Dutch company that specializes on applications and websites for the Dutch market. And aside to that, we have some naive Google ambitions, because we also have this research time where we give all developers some time to do a lot of research and fun projects to see what comes up. Just like the Google research time, I believe you all have the 20% time. Yeah, so we don't do 20%, but we're doing just Wednesday afternoon, and that has started lots of nice new projects on multiplayer stuff. Like we created a multiplayer engine. We already did that once around 2001 with XML HTTP requests. It was called quack.nl, and so now we thought, well, let's do this all again and create a multiplayer engine and make it open source.
So you did that as part of your free time that you have within your job?
Yes, and we used it commercially and for several projects and clients. But we're also, we thought, well, we used to keep things for ourselves and see what we can do with it, but the web has changed, and so we took the open source approach and took Google Code to host it.
So tell me a bit about your decision to use Google Code project hosting to host your core. How did you come to decide to do that?
We used Google Code to host the project because we thought that it was we need a platform, and Google has lots of services ready to go, so it connected easily with the analytics. For instance, it was just setting up a single code and you could see how many people are visiting your Google Code site and downloading stuff and using it. And also it was very nice that it integrated with Google Groups, so you don't have to come up with your own solution, where people can ask questions and people can answer that, because all these services are combined and easily referenced in the Google Code environment. So that was, and it was our first choice, and I'm very happy that we did that. So we created a Q42 multiplayer engine on Google Code, and then I created a Serian.net, which is a multiplayer game based on old school share games like Leisure Suit Larry and Space Quest, and you can play them multiplayer online in your browser or the iPhone and the Wii. And we made the engine open source as well on Google Code.
And so all of that's now available as open source?
Yeah, that's right. Except for the game content, of course, because it's not ours to give away. But we got some nice feedback from the original creators, such as Al Lau, that they just loved the concept, and they said, well, you know, just go with it and let's see what happens.
That's great. So why did you decide to open source your code base instead of making it proprietary?
We looked around to see if there were any multiplayer engines available that we could use for nowadays, and there aren't any. We couldn't find anything that was just out of the box available. And we thought, well, why, if we have done this work, why not share it with the world and give it to everyone so they can easily click and play and create their own multiplayer environment? So we thought, well, it's time for open source.
That's terrific. So here at Google I/O, have you learned anything that you're excited about putting into practice?
Yeah, what I liked is the future with HTML5. That it features less plugins for people to install, and the native video element. And also I just walked in an HTML5 session just recently and discovered that there was one slide that said, well, these are the things that we're going to work on in the future. And one thing was peer-to-peer connections. So that in reference to our multiplayer stuff that we're working on, I think that's the only thing missing is true peer-to-peer connections. So you can actually have real-time multiplayer environments instead of using a server and pulling the server during an interval. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens there.
That's very cool. Well, thank you for coming to speak to us.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks.